Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's another great weekend for me. Another good weekend of golf. Another tournament in my backyard. So the RBC Heritage here at Hilton Head. Hilton Head's like my second home. I practically grew up here in the summers, and this tournament has been around as long as I've been living, and it's an awesome experience. I remember as a kid running around, chasing through the cuts and the woods. It's been a lot of fun. So if you ever have an opportunity, this is one of the most interesting and enjoyable tournaments you could come to. And it's a lot easier to get into it versus the Masters. So, yesterday was a lot of fun. So let's get down to business, the busyness. Okay, CAR is a swing trade that I got into. I think I shared with you on Thursday, and I did take profit on it. So you can see Friday, we pretty much did what the market did. It opened green, they kind of sold off. The good thing is we're still making momentum. We're still making higher lows. So we'll see. I'm still in. My line in the sand and my hard deck on this is 47.50, and if this closes below the 20 at the end of the day, then I will take it off. Now the problem that I'm having with a lot of people, or with some that's monitoring these, they're watching these trades on intraday, and then they're sending me a message saying, this stock just crossed below the VWAP, or this stock just crossed below this. I don't really care. This isn't a day trade. It's a swing trade. It's going to go back and forth. It's going to make these swings. And if you manage it intraday, it's going to stop you out before you ever get going good. So, that's kind of the main thing here is on a day trade, you manage it intraday. On a swing trade, you got to let it work. So once I look at it in the morning and I set my target and my stop, I'll look at it at lunchtime, and then I'll look at it at the end of the day to see if I need to make any adjustments. Other than that, you got to let it work. If you don't, you're not going to take advantage of, what a swing trade has to offer. So that's what I'm looking for. I am looking to potentially add back to get back full. That's the only good thing that can come out of this pullback is an opportunity for me to add back and get back in full size, so that when we do hit this 52-week high here, I'll be able to take half off, as I planned initially. So, we'll see. Just have to wait and see how it opens. I've got a plan, but I have to let the market tell me whether that plan is going to work or not. I can't force it on the market and try to force the market to work according to my plan. That doesn't work at all. And I know a lot of us have tried that, but we know it doesn't work. So that's my plan on it. And so let's look at the day trades I took on Friday. Now we know the market's slow, and I'll show you, why here in a minute. And I said it from the outset, or the beginning. The market is going to be slow these 2 weeks. These 2 weeks are tough, but there's certain things I wanted you to pick up. And there's a reason why I did this, because I wanted to separate the winners from the pretenders. You got a lot of people that pretend that they're willing to do what it takes, but in the back of their mind, they think they're God and they can do it in no time. And if it doesn't work, then I'm a failure and that's it. It doesn't work that way. Those are the people that I can't work with, that I can't help. There's nothing I can do for them until they understand the fact that this is a process. It's going to take time. And, these 2 weeks, I had a goal. I had several things that I wanted to drive home. And these 2 weeks accomplished everything that I wanted to. There were 3 principles that I wanted to drive home prior to the start of this coming week. Because this coming week, we're going to start to see some action. And, it was patience, risk management, and execution. These are the 3 key principles that's going to help us grow our account and put us where we need to be. Based on the feedback that I received from most of the traders in the community, that message I feel has been received. And, these 2 weeks, as far as I'm concerned, have been a success. They accomplished everything I wanted to. And like I said, there are a couple of traders that sent me a email, bitching about this and that. I told them, look, you're going to have to change your mindset or you're not going to make it. It's just that simple. You got to have the right mindset. The other thing that kind of is a head fake, so to speak, is you got to learn how to lose. You got to accept losing, because there are going to be times in this market where you're going to lose. You're going to hit a streak where you can't seem to do anything right. And if you can't accept the bad with the good, it's going to cause you to make mistakes. It's going to cause you to chase and do things that will be detrimental to your trading. And so you have a bad day, you have a bad morning, accept it. Don't try to chase it. If your mind isn't clear, walk away. If your mind is clear, stay engaged. And you saw that happen to me. One day my mind was just a cluster. And I couldn't seem to get my head wrapped around what I was doing. So I ended up having to take a $300 loss that day. But I was okay with that, because that $300 loss I could have easily wiped out my account in that one day. $1,800 isn't a whole lot of money. And it doesn't take long to wipe out an $1,800 account. So when your mind is not there, you got to stop. Just accept it. This is part of the game. You got to come back tomorrow and it's going to be there. So likewise, there was another day this week, where I started out in the morning down, $300. But my mind was right. And I didn't go in revenge trading. I went in trading what the market gave me. And I made some real solid trades and brought it back. That's the difference. That's the tale of 2 days. So you have to remain in control. If your mind is not right, you stop trading. My mind isn't right, I don't feel comfortable, I'm going to stop trading. If I stop trading on a red day, that's what it has to be. Because remember, we have to preserve our account. The worst thing we can do is just keep getting into deeper and deeper holes, and we start feeling anxious, trying to make our money back all in one swoop. Next thing you know, we're going to have to refund our account. We don't want to do that. So we're going to take these things slow, and we're going to grow. So Z, now here's something that I was looking at on Z. Now, on a normal day, normal market conditions, I would have gotten in this stock up here on this rejection. And my first target would be the opening range. If we get a bounce off and set in a 5-minute opening range and we bounce up into resistance and we reject it, that was my entry. This was my first target. So that if we did fail to break below the opening range low, then I would still have profit. And when we get back, I'll be out break even. In this case, I decided to wait because the market was not really conducive to what I normally trade. And so once this broke below, I felt, hey, we're in the clear now. But once again, got in exact bottom, of course. And we went up and stopped out. When I managed my risk, I was okay with that. I was mad because I waited, was patient, and it didn't work. Okay, fine. It's done. I know losses are part of the game. I know what this week is about, so let's move on. And that's pretty much what I did. So we see the lesson we take from this is, I probably should have just traded the way I normally would trade versus waiting. But, that was a decision I made. I have to stand by it and accept responsibility for it. But you'll see this week, if this happens, you'll see me catching the rejection and then using this as my first target. You're going to see me back to doing that. And you've seen me do it in the past. I'll be back to doing that. YNDX, this was a great opportunity here. We had to sell off at the open. I'm catching a secondary move here off the rejection. This did exactly what I thought it would do. This is what it does every single day for the last month or so. The stock opens, puts in a low. We bounce back into resistance. Usually runs into the 20 or so, and then sells back off. And this one bounced off red to green. Once it came back and rejected the 20 again, I jumped on it. I was anticipating a loss of this thing and going red on the day here, but it didn't. I just had to hold through all of this. And, ended up taking it off here. As we bounced, I took it off here. Honestly, my patience had just run out. And I just took this trade off and then kind of reset here. When I realized that we weren't getting any momentum to the upside, I just went ahead and reset here and kind of took profit here at these different points. And then as we recovered going into close, I went ahead and took it off. I was looking to, I always wait for a stop to sell out to see if we're going to really sell off into the close. This one actually recovered, and I didn't get much more profit, but was pretty pleased with the way I managed this. There's not much you can do on a Friday on a very, very slow week. There's not really much you can do. So almost brought it all the way back. I think had I been able to take profit down here, had it hit my target, I would have made it back. But, this is what I mean by you could have a bad first trade, or it wasn't really bad, it just didn't work. And as long as you have your mind right, you're going to be able to get back and re-engage and, make it happen. And that's what it's all about. So I know it was only 2 weeks, but I wanted to try to get those principles inside you so that you understand these are the things that have to be done in order to make it to the next level. So it's an okay Friday. I wish I would have ended the day green, but that's fine. It's been a tough 2 weeks. It was supposed to be tough. It was that for a reason. So here's the results for the week, you can see again we had 3 red days, 2 green days. This was a really tough week. And we're inching up on profits. That's what we want to see. That's the progression that you guys have to see. You know, last week we lost 184.82. Really, this would have been a green week, you know, had I not let this day get away from me. But all in all, for the month, these first 2 weeks, we only lost $240. We're still in the game. We survived the storm. We survived the storm. And that's what this is about. So for the month, we're down to $239.22. Still got the money we need to keep rolling. So now, you know, this week we should start to see some real good results. And you can see the last 2 weeks, even in the swing account, the opportunities weren't there. I didn't take it. No, I didn't. And that's the selectiveness that we have to have. You know, I didn't take any trades last Wednesday or Thursday. This past week, I didn't take any on Monday or Tuesday. Nothing really set up for me. Wednesday and Thursday were okay. Nothing really set up for me on Friday. So, you know, no new positions. And we're holding that one CAR position, you know, over the weekend. But, you know, for the month, in here we're at six grand for 2 weeks. Is, you know, that's not bad, especially as slow as it was. You know, I really feel good about it. We don't have these $2,000 and $3,000 days, but hey, slow and steady wins the race. And so for overall, 26, 27.99 for the week. And I don't know, that didn't seem right. Well, it might be. And then 58.13.60 for the month. So not bad so far this month. Not bad at all. So here's the earnings calendar for next week. Now I want you to take a good look at this. And this isn't all of the stocks. These are some of the stocks that most people look at. You know, not all of these are going to be in play for me. You know, like Monday morning, JB Hunt's probably the only one I'm going to be watching. You know, all of these, Bank of America, MT Bank, Charles Schwab, these are some of the other financial institutions reporting. Some of them reported Friday. You know, I'm not into financial institutions, so, you know, I won't be trading those. JB Hunt's probably what I'm going to be watching. Netflix, definitely will be watching after the close. But here you got Pinnacle, Wintrust Financial, First Defiance, Service One Bank. You know, these I'm not even interested in. You know, Goldman Sachs, no. I just don't. Northern Trust, you know, I just don't get into these financial stocks. Most of them are real high float and don't really give moves that I want. Now, I know some did on Friday. Some people traded them, but I wasn't even looking. But you can see we've got a huge week coming with earnings. We're ready to kick it off. Now, in contrast, this was last week. This tells you exactly why last week was very slow and had very little opportunity. Some of these companies have no volume. You know, they don't really trade at all. And so you see the stocks. We looked at FAST, BBBY. I didn't look at Delta on Thursday. You know, Friday we didn't trade any of these. But these stocks have to have volume. For them to be in play for me, they gotta have volume. So that's why you'll see a lot of stocks on earnings, but only 2 or 3 I may have on watch, and that's gonna be why. So this was last week. Now the first week in April was okay. Look, this is why we did okay, a little bit better. The first week in April, there was some opportunities that we were able to take advantage of, but last week was just abysmal. So we're ready to kick it off. We're ready to jump in, and we're ready to kick it off. Now I'm excited about this week. I'm excited about what we accomplished, what everybody learned, and I'm ready to hit the ground running. So you guys, we'll see you first thing in the morning, and let's get this party started.